People never talk about this issue, but the fact is, if the woman you're with earns more than you, your relationship is going to be rocky as hell, and probably she is going to cheat on you and or break up with you and or leave you for somebody better. It's as simple as that, and that's the truth. Yeah, because women are hypergamous. Women care about having a man who is superior to them, okay? I mean, hypergamy means that they are always going up the ladder, the social ladder, to find like a better man. Yeah, but by definition, because of that, they want a man who is more dominant, certainly more dominant than them. That's what they want. They want to be dominated. That's a central facet of a woman's character. Any woman's character, all women's character. They want to be dominated. Even hardcore feminists, they say that when they're in the bedroom, they like to be dominated. Why do you think that is? The only women who enjoy being dominant are girls who are severely damaged by some problems with their old man, with their father. Daddy issues, yeah, that's why they want to be dominant, because they want to punish daddy, okay? But I'm telling you right now that a woman, all women, they want to be dominated. And therefore, if you earn less than them, well, then you're not dominating them now, are you? Yeah, because always remember that money in and of itself is not the issue. A lot of men foolishly think that women are all gold diggers. It's not that they're gold diggers. No, 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 no. What's going on is that, see, money is an actual quantifiable metric for social worth. That's what's going on. A guy who is a billionaire 10 times over, and a guy who has only $100 million, well, the guy who has $10 billion is, of course, mathematically 100 times richer than the guy who has $100 million, right? But from a woman's perspective, it doesn't really matter, because it's so much money that it's pointless, and the woman will start to actually look at the guys, and the guy who has 10 billion bucks might not be as dominant personally as the guy who has only $100 million. But still, $100 million is plenty, okay? And the woman will go for the guy with $100 million, because when you get that high up, it doesn't matter. You see my point? But when you're talking about a guy who earns, say, $30,000 and a guy who earns $120,000, yeah, it's 4 times as much. The difference is not as great as the guy who earns 100 million versus the guy who has 10 billion. But that 4 times, going from 30 to 120, well, that's the difference between a straightened circumstance, a life of straightened circumstances, and a life of ease for most people. You see what I'm saying? And so those two guys, the guy who earns 30 and the guy who earns 120 a year, right? They could be the exact same guy, but she's going to go for the guy with 120 because that guy can provide an easier life. See? That's what she wants. That's what she's always wanted. An easy life, comfort, security. That's why she goes for the richer guy. But if she herself is earning more than the man she is with, then it will be inevitable that she will start to look down on the guy. Inevitable. She will start to look down on the guy, think less of him, and eventually she'll start looking for somebody better. Or somebody better will roll around and she will feel that tingle. That tingle of excitement. And why is it? Because the guy earns more than her, is more dominant than her, and she'll be attracted to that man, and it'll be in spite of herself. She could love the guy who earns less than her. She could be earning, say, $60,000, and she's with the guy who earns $30,000, and she could adore him and think the world of him. But if the guy doesn't have any kind of prospects, I mean, like, for instance, a doctor, a resident might earn very little money, but there's a prospect that he's going to earn a lot more money in the future, right? But if he's just some guy who's earning 30 grand and his career is just going to be puttering along, and she's earning 60, she might adore that guy who earns 30 grand. But the guy who rolls down the street with a expensive car and is earning 120, she's going to naturally be attracted to him and eventually leave him. It's inevitable. And if you're the guy who's earning 30,000 with a woman who earns 60 and she decides to leave you for a guy with 120, I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm not saying it emptily. It's not your fault. It's not, okay? You were just outclassed. It's as simple as that, see? See, there are guys who are very ugly and they date incredibly attractive women. But see, those guys who are ugly, and date these incredibly attractive women, they have a force of personality. They have other things going for them, and they dominate the woman's attention, capture it. And that's why it doesn't matter if he's really, really ugly or old. He can be going with some 25-year-old hottie, no problem, you see? But a guy who's poor, that's unforgivable. And, again, I just want to emphasize a fact. It is not gold digging. No, it's not. It's not that the woman is materialistic. It's not that she cares more about money than about the person. No, it's just hardwired into her, okay? We always talk about hypergamy. We always talk about the fact that women are always like monkey branching and looking for something better. Why do you think that is? Because it's built into them. It's not that they are of low moral character. No. It's built into them. They need a guy with higher social status. And economic status translates to social status. A guy who earns 30 grand a year can't go on vacation to Tahiti. The guy who earns 120 can. The guy who earns $30,000 a year can't go to the expensive restaurant and hang out with the cool people. The guy who earns $120,000 a year can. And she wants to be with the cool people. She wants to be higher up on the social hierarchy. It's natural, okay? And if she is the one who earns more than the guy, it's doomed. Yeah, because ultimately what's going to happen is that she's going to realize how hard she works to get 60 grand. And she's going to say to herself, well, this guy must be working half as hard as I am because he's only earning 30. Of course, she's going to realize that whatever he's doing is difficult in and of itself. But, in her hind brain, she's going to make the simple mathematical, calculation, which is erroneous, perhaps. But feelings in a woman trump any kind of logic. We all know that. With a man, you can reason with him. With a woman, it's all about emotions. And her hind brain is going to say, well, I'm better than him. I love him, he's a great guy, but I'm better than him, and don't I deserve better? Shouldn't I be with somebody at my level or somebody better than me? Shouldn't I? Of course I should be. And so she leaves the guy. She leaves the poor guy, the guy who earns less than her. If you're that guy and you're with some woman, understand the dynamic, don't feel bad about it. Like I said, it's not your fault. But understand that it is nothing that you can do. I mean, it's going to happen, okay? And look, ultimately, what's the point of the content that I make? It's to tell you the truth, right? If you want pretty lies, there are lots of content creators who give you pretty lies. If you want the truth, the hard truths, the bitter truths, this is where it's at. And so I'm telling you, if you are earning less than your woman, she's going to be looking for somebody else, so you might as well do the same. Sorry, but it's true.